All right, so we are recording this here at 5:56 Thursday. The NBA season kicks off Tuesday. Um, Mild summer, I'd say. Some interesting things happen in the off season, but I'm sure I can speak for both of us when I say that we're really excited for basketball to be back.
Yes.
And so I wanted to just talk to you briefly. Um, us do a little activity about what five storylines I would be most looking forward to this season. Now,
hmm
me being the the gracious host that I am, I'm gonna let you start first. So, what's your first storyline you're looking at?
Should I go? Should I go Western Conference or stay in the East? I'm gonna go
Yeah, you
West.
could. All
I'm
right,
gonna go
cool.
West. How much of an impact is this Aspire, Steve Ballmer, Kawhi Leonard scandal gonna have an impact on the Clippers? Is it gonna have a negative effect? Is it gonna have a positive effect of them coming together and powering through this regular season? Because they do have the All-Star game. Pablo Torre's been coming out over the summer, just dropping hit after hit on this Kawhi Leonard scandal, and
Keeping
it's been
journalism
juicy.
alive.
It's been juicy. It's like everything that's come out. It's like, okay, everything that comes out from this thing sounds illegal. You have Steve Ballmer talking to people saying, "I'm pleading the fifth." You got Kawhi Leonard being silent on it. The scandal in itself is hilarious to me because it's like, I'm surprised this doesn't happen more often or more NBA teams don't get caught doing this. But in his situation, especially with everything with Kawhi, his availability, is this going to be a turning point for the Clippers where it's going to finally be the nail in the coffin of this era of the Clippers, or is it going to elevate them? Because they've made a bunch of additions like Bradley Beal, Chris Paul, Brooke Lopez, guys like that. Is this the last run for them in terms of trying to make something happen?
That's interesting. That's a great storyline to look at, and that's been the main headline. I feel like with the last few weeks or last month, with some change about this whole Aspire thing with Kawhi Leonard, and people are wondering is this a one off or is this the norm in the NBA? Who knows?
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah,
Mhm.
will how will this how will the Clippers react as an organization? Are they going to be frustrated and take it out on the rest of the league or try to? Are they going to just treat it like it's just whatever? It's like the norm
Mhm.
type thing. Yeah, how they're going to react. And it's funny. I think I saw, did I read correctly that they either the oldest team right now or the oldest team of all time, this current
Yeah.
Clippers roster, which is,
Yeah.
it was insane.
Oh
So
man.
if they're really going to try to take it out on the league, I mean, how is that going to are they going to be able to sustain themselves from a health standpoint? And you got
Yeah.
Chris Paul, Kawhi Leonard, James Harden, Brooke Lopez on the roster and everything. So it's like,
All those guys. It's going to be interesting because it's like this whole scandal is like, what is the NBA going to do? Because they've kind of said, hey, let the lawyers handle this. A lot of people have been reporting, hey, this is not going to be handled until after the All-Star game because they don't want that to affect the All-Star game and the Clippers, and people have been
because it's at the Clippers arena.
Intuit Dome. So people are like, hey, we don't want this to interfere with that, or in terms of talk about pulling the All-Star game from there. Like the Intuit Dome is a catch on its own with its whole setup. They don't want the negative press, but it's like, to me, that negative press is going to be there regardless. And I think the more questions and stuff are going to ramp up when it gets closer to the All-Star game in that media field, the media days leading up to it. So it's definitely going to be interesting because if they get off to a slow start or it's a bad season or if Kawhi's out, it's gonna be very tough for the Clippers. Like I'm hoping that this can be a rallying cry because the Clippers only made one conference finals since Kawhi Leonard has been there, and he wasn't even available for it. So
Exactly. I think lost in 5 to the Suns.
to the Suns.
Yeah.
So it's like, how is that going to even factor? Because it's like this is either going to be the nail in the coffin or is this going to be a rallying cry for me? And I think that's one of the biggest storylines because Pablo Torre, I think he has something else in the tuck, just waiting. If something doesn't come out the way that he generally thinks is fair, I think he's going to drop something else.
Well, yeah, I think I just saw yesterday, a few days ago, that he had a sneak peek interview on Mark Cuban, who's kind of been in support of Balmer during this whole thing going
Yeah,
transpiring.
they had it.
So I don't know if the episode came out yet. I didn't see any
I
clips
think I think
online.
I think it's come. I think it's come out already, and it's just him going against. It had a sign, had that Apu thing from The Simpsons, the meme when he jumps in front. It's like billionaires protecting other billionaires, and like that's the whole setup. I haven't gotten a chance to watch it, but It's like, because Mark Cuban has been one of the people coming out. I think Mark Cuban has always been on that side of things, even with the Donald Sterling thing, another Clipper situation. He was like, we got
Yeah,
to be
he was
very. Mhm. He was like, we
he
got to
was
be
talking
very
about
careful
basically.
taking teams away from owners and stuff like that. So,
And I think he was I think he was on the. I think he said something to the effect of when that happened that it was essentially a private conversation that got leaked. So
yeah,
like that's kind of like an invasion of privacy right there,
yeah,
and that's not like a good
he was
precedent
like,
to set.
yo, and I understood it from even that standpoint. I mean, we all don't like Donald Sterling and stuff like that, but it's just in that context, it's like, yes, it was something that wasn't, and I'm pretty sure he was along the lines like we've all said something that would get us in trouble if we were privately recorded. I'm pretty sure that was the line he was thinking, but he steps up again. So I'll be, I got to check out that interview again and see what happened. But Pablo has been on a tear this summer, especially with this story.
Yeah, I tell him like he's reviving like journalism. That seems like kind of like an extinct um, career, at least from
Mhm.
like a print like investigative aspect. He's kind of reviving
Yes.
it here. I see people like, "Oh, stop snitching." I'm like, no, he's a journalist. He's doing
Yeah,
his
like this
job.
is normal in terms of sports journalism. He's in sports, so he's going to find all the juicy stuff. So, and I think a lot of more people are going to come forward. It's not just basketball he's focused on. He's been doing Bill Belichick. He's been doing other sports
Already.
as well too, baseball. So it's like this is going to be the norm going forward, at least for him. He's found a new lane. So I think it works well for him.
I mean, just for the Clippers, man. Like it just seems like something like this would happen to if this happened to any franchise, it would be the Clippers. This the most cursed franchise. Like you trade for Kawhi, and in the process, you give up a future league MVP and SGA. You trade away a pick that ended up to be Jalen Williams, and now you like kind of like helped lay the foundation for a potential dynasty in OKC, and you've got nothing in return. Whereas they won a championship, come off a championship this summer, and you guys have like really haven't really done anything since the Kawhi Leonard era has taken place there.
You have the OGs of the NBA to show for it and paying a high salary roster. That's what they have in the
All
Western
right,
Conference.
that's it. So let me give you my first story I'm looking
All
at.
right, all right.
All right. Who is going to take? Who's going to step into the number 5 spot in terms of the best player in the league? So I'm sure that we can all, that me and you can agree, right? Top 4 in the NBA right now, no particular order:
Mm-hmm.
Nikola Jokic, SGA, Giannis, Luka. However you want to rearrange that, it's whatever. But we know those are the top 4 players in the league. Now, if Tatum was available, we know he would be in that group, and that would be the big 5 in the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
But he tore his Achilles, so he can't be eligible for this. So, who is going to fill that void that's left with Tatum's injury? And the only 2 candidates I really think there are is Ant-Man and Wemby. And I'm kind of surprised to say Wemby. Because I remember when the 2K ratings came out and he was like a 94. I'm like, what the? He hasn't done anything to be a 94. But when you figure out what he does in the games, like the impact they can have on both ends of the floor, what I've
Mm-hmm.
seen so far in preseason, I'm looking like, yeah, he's a real candidate to get that number 5 spot. What do you think about that?
I think it's between those two. And I think if I had to pick, because Ant-Man actually has the resume, right? He's been to the playoffs. He's been to a conference
2
finals.
conference finals.
Yeah, so he's had the experience. So I'm going to give him the edge. I'm not going to say that Wemby can't be in that conversation because what Wemby has done, even in preseason, I'm like, okay, like he's on the way. Like he's not going to be far off in that conversation, especially in the Defensive Player of the Year conversation already. It's between those two, but I got to lean Ant-Man just because of the resume. He's only going to get better as well. He's actually had playoff runs. So Wemby, I can't give him that notion yet because he hasn't gotten to the playoffs, right? Like he was on the verge last season and then had that blood clot injury. So, yeah, I'm going to give the edge to Ant-Man. And then if I think I can't, I'm trying to think if there's anybody else. I can't put Jalen Brunson there.
Yeah.
It
I can
gets
really put
tricky after
Ant-Man
that.
and Wemby.
Yeah, it gets tricky
Yeah.
after that.
Yeah. Now, say I'm not mad about Ant-Man. Like you said, like he's been close, been knocking on the door the last couple of seasons, even though he got outplayed in consecutive conference finals. By Luka 1 year, the SGA the next.
Yeah.
I just don't know if he's going to take a big leap. Like I feel like the leap that he's going to take won't be the same as a leap that Wemby can take. Just based on what I've seen, like I'm loving the fact I'm seeing Wemby be way more aggressive in the
Yes.
preseason, attacking the basket, pushing, kind of using his shoulder, getting dudes
Hmm.
off him. You seen him in the gym with Akeem over in the summer,
Hmm.
not settling for threes, taking advantage of matchups that he has, like in the interior. I feel like with that mindset, because I always felt like he's not really going to be a dominant offensive player per se.
Hmm.
Obviously, on the defensive end, he can do it, but it looks like he's like determined to be just as dominant offensively as he is on the defense end of the ball. And if that can happen, and if he can stay healthy, it's going to be scary for the league
Yeah,
for the foreseeable future.
I think it was just experimental season. Like, hey, take all these threes. Like, see what you can do in your first season. Be experimental. We're going to use you in this way. Handoffs, pick and rolls, pick and pop situations, or whatever the case may be. This year, now that you have an understanding of the game, now dominate. Go to the basket. Use your dribble ability to get to the basket. You can still take those threes from here to here. You can still take a mid range from here to here. But now that you understand how the game works, now that you worked on your body, you went and worked out with a bunch of other people, now be dominant. And I think that's something that he's gearing up, especially that he lost the last 20 games of the season last year due to the blood clot. It's like he's making up for lost time. And I think he's eager to get back out there and show the NBA, the world, what he can do. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I mean, last season his stats, he had about 24 points per game, 11 rebounds, damn near 4 blocks a game. Played only 46 games last season. We knew he had the medical injury like towards the end of the season and everything. Man, what if he gets to like 28, 30 points a game? If he increases by like 4 to 6 points, I don't know. I think that could be in the books for him this season.
If he does that in the second season, he's going to be one of the best all time. And I know people have already kind of like
pinpointed his third season, right?
Third season, yeah, my bad. But it's just like if he can do that and elevate his scoring to that degree with the defense already, it's it's going to be tough for the league, man. The Spurs are going to be tough regardless of who they have on that roster moving forward or whatever the situation is, because people are talking about moving on from De'Aaron Fox because they got Castle and Harper, and how's that going to work in the backcourt? And it's like whatever the Spurs roster is going forward, they're going to be something to reckon with just because he's on the roster. So the whole league,
they have.
Yeah. Yep, go ahead.
Oh, say that?
No, I'm just saying the whole league looks for one of these guys that you have as a franchise player, can't miss prospect. He's that already. Like, there's no doubt about it.
Yeah, I think for most people would probably, if you ask them in the league, like GMs and executives, if they ask like who's the one player you want to start a franchise with, you probably lean Wemby for the most part. Big reason is because of his age and and the big runway you have with him for 10 maybe 15 years, as long as he can stay healthy. I forgot what I was going to say too. Hey, they even could be in play to get Giannis if that doesn't work out in Milwaukee. They have the assets.
Yeah, they definitely have they have the picks. They have the assets. Them, OKC, and I think there's another team. Houston as well have the assets. All in the same division, roughly. But all of those teams can make a move for Giannis and add to that. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting for sure.
Facts. All right. So what was your next storyline you're looking at?
Everyone's pinpointing the Knicks and the Cavs to be in the Eastern Conference Finals, and most people have the Knicks ahead. Some people have Cleveland ahead, but I'm wondering about these other two teams, maybe even three teams that I can add in there: Orlando, Detroit, Atlanta. Which one of those teams can make that maybe Atlanta Hawks leap from 2021 in terms of getting to the conference finals? Could one of these teams, Orlando, Detroit, Atlanta, upset either New York or Cleveland? Because New York had some trouble with Detroit last year, and Cleveland had these problems with Indiana. Like, these other teams are coming up. In terms of Detroit, I like what they did in the offseason. Orlando has made some big moves to try to make a push and be more efficient on offense. Atlanta has retooled, has all the young guys coming back: Dyson Daniels, Jalen Johnson, added Nick Hill, Alexander Walker, Trae Young's in a contract year. So I'm like, everyone's just kind of closed the East to the Knicks and the Cavs. I'm wondering, could one of these other teams open the door for themselves and get to the Eastern Conference Finals?
Yeah, I like that because, obviously, with the injuries to Tatum and Halliburton, we have so much parity now in the Eastern Conference. Because I think it's safe to say, if those guys never tore their Achilles, those teams, Celtics and Pacers, would be 1 and 2 in the East. Yeah. Most people would pick either one of those guys, two teams, to reach the finals, right? So now it's like, all right, you have New York, just got rid of Tom Thibodeau. insert Mike Brown,
Yep.
and you got the Cavs who won 60-plus games last season, but got eliminated in the second round to the Pacers, albeit they did deal with some injuries and everything. Some people are saying
Yep.
you lose Ty Jerome, lose Okoro. We have Lonzo Ball, who I think is a sneaky pickup. From what I saw in the preseason, I'm like, yo, if he can stay on the court, give you this 20, 25 minutes a night, that's a good pickup. And to help, especially with Garland being out for this extended period of time.
That's what I was just about to say. He helps them tremendously, especially with size on defense, right? Because people were picking on having Garland and Mitchell in your backcourt, they're going to get picked on. But at least if you have Lonzo, you can at least funnel the defense to help Mitchell a little bit better than you have with Garland and stuff like that. So I thought that was a big pickup for them. They really can't make any moves, I think, this season because they're over the cap.
Yeah, I think they're hampered by the apron and everything.
Yeah, which sucks, which is really going to be interesting because they're the first case basis of that, right? Like we're going to see what happens with these teams that can't make any moves because of the apron. But I think the ascent of Evan Mobley is something to watch out for with Cleveland as well because he's been coming on the road. I think last year he had a good season, had a good postseason where he was growing as a player. And I'm like, okay, we can see what he's doing. And people kind of close the door on him because they see Wemby. But I'm like, Evan Mobley still has more levels to reach as a player. So I'm going to go with that. New York, getting Mike Brown, getting somebody who's actually going to utilize the whole roster is probably the best thing for New York. I know they made some additions like Yabusele, Jordan Clarkson. So they have some additions. Malcolm Brogdon just retired, so he's not going to be available. I wonder who they're going to use to fill up that spot. But the fact that Mike Brown is going to come in and we saw his offense and he learned some things from Golden State, took it to Sacramento where their offense was one of the best in the league at one point. So to bring that to New York, who was very Jalen Brunson heavy, very isocentric with Jalen Brunson and Cat, and seeing other guys get involved in the offense, something Mikal Bridges pointed out last season that they desperately needed to do, and it ended up being Tibbs' downfall. But yeah.
Did you catch them this preseason? Any action from them?
The Knicks?
Yeah.
Not really. No. I've seen a little bit. It looks like there's a little bit more movement. A little bit more.
No, I like that because I always said that although I respect Jalen Brunson, he's a superstar in the NBA, borderline superstar, all-star caliber player, borderline superstar, I want to say. At the same time, I think it's just too much to rely on him with that miniature size to carry you offensively, like to have all that weight on his shoulder night in, night out to dominate the basketball like that and get you to 3 rounds. Right, I thought it was just too much to ask. So I'm hearing like Mike Brown's going to add more variety to the offense, but then at the same time, he's so used to being, ever since being in New York at least, because he did play with Luka. But since he's been in New York, he's just so used to having the ball in his hand. So how is that adjustment going to be for him if the ball's going to be spread around? But I think that is for the better of the team in the long run.
I think he's going to do the right thing and do whatever it takes to win in terms because it's right now like you just lost to the Pacers. On paper, the Pacers weren't supposed to beat you guys. So looking at it from that standpoint, it's like it's going to be an adjustment. It's definitely going to be an adjustment for him. But I think he wants to win. He's going to play the right way. And I think Mike Brown is like, yo, this is how we have to play. This is how they have to play. Like they can't keep doing the same thing they did last season and getting in those close grind out games. Like you want to beat teams by 10, 15, rest your guys in the fourth quarter. That's the standard thing to do. I know Tibbs has been the opposite way, playing his guys 40, 48 minutes when they're up 20, and that's not a good look for them. So definitely just a change. I think that's something that New York saw, even because Tibbs been there for 4 years? And it was just the same. Like he brought the infectious energy, the defense, the culture back to New York. But in terms of the elevation of the offense and style, they needed to be more modernized. And I think
he was definitely archaic on that side of the basketball. And of course, running his plays to the ground. If Mikal Bridges is complaining about minutes, you know something's wrong. Mr. Iron Man doesn't miss a game. Like if he's complaining, there's something wrong. But to your point about these other teams in the Eastern Conference, if I had to pick one, I'd probably go with Orlando. Honestly, that can upset the Knicks or the Cavs. Now, I think the Cavs are going to the finals. I'll pick them. Okay. But I would go with Orlando. I think Paolo's got another step to take this year, entering his fourth season. I love the Desmond Bane addition, who can help with them and the three ball department with their atrocious 3-point shooting last season, and also help a lot on the other side of the ball too as well with Wagner and everything. So I look at them to be like that team that can rival them. I would
Yeah,
probably go second with the Pistons, but I
I've
would
talked
go with
I've
Orlando.
talked to some people with Orlando, and they just like they were terrible on offense, and they're going to be stagnant. And I'm like, well, they added Tyrus Jones as well. They added Desmond Bain. KCP didn't give them anything last season shooting the ball, so he didn't help their 3-point shooting situation. Desmond Bain at least has some playmaking ability and stuff on that side of the ball. And that's and I was like, Franz and Paulo missed half the season, and those guys still made a run to the playoffs. Those guys still played well down the stretch, so without spacing. So if they can be healthy and get those guys involved, I think it's going to be a different Orlando Magic team.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Jalen Suggs. I know he's not going to be available to start the season, but he's going to be back in the mix
That's
too
a
as well.
big factor because they're going to need him regardless of whatever happens down the line. And then Detroit, I feel like Detroit retooled. I think they still have I think they own the rights to Michael Beasley. Like they can still sign him and bring him back in, but they have Duncan Robinson. They got Karis LeVert. I know Karis LeVert's not favored because he's been around a couple teams the past couple years. Atlanta, Brooklyn, Cleveland, like those teams kind of passed on him. But you still got Cade Cunningham. You got Jaden Ivey returning. You got Jalen Duren. So they still have a foundation there that I think people are sleeping on with them, with Detroit.
Absolutely. Yeah, I agree. All right, so let me give you my second storyline I'm looking at right now. Are we, or the media, are they expecting too much from for the Houston Rockets, particularly KD? Right now, we all know that yes, the Rockets. So the Rockets last season they were 52-30. So they finished second in the Western Conference, got eliminated in the 7 to the Warriors, and we all saw that series when that unfolded. It was like, damn, they need somebody who can like help bail them out, and the half court offense, right? And you trade for Kevin Durant, probably the best mid-range shooter of all time, arguably the greatest scorer of all time, definitely in the top 5 conversation. A guy who is just a marksman, who the best plug-and-play player ever, I think. You could put him in any system. He just that doesn't dominate the basketball. He plays within the flow of the offense. Everybody's going to find their rhythm. He just has a great feel for the game. But this is year 19, really 18 since they missed the whole season with the torn Achilles. But it's year 19. I just don't think that while the numbers look good, I mean, last season he averaged about 26 points per game on about under 53% from his field. But at the same time, it's not impactful like it was several years ago. Shoot, even LeBron puts up crazy numbers now still, especially for his age, being 40 years old. But it's just not impactful like LeBron we've seen 5-10 years ago. So I feel the same way with Kevin Durant. Yes, he's still great. Yes, he is still amazing for his age. I think he turned 37 in September. But at the same time, are we asking too much for him at this point of his career? With Van Fleet out now, with the torn ACL, there's going to be even more pressure on him unless Asar Thompson is able to take a crazy leap on offense in his third year in the league. Then it's like, damn, there's going to be a lot of pressure on KD. I don't worry about them necessarily on the regular season. They'll probably be a top 2-3 seed in the Western Conference. I worry about more in the playoffs. What do you think about that?
I think we're putting too much pressure on them. Even with Kevin Durant added to that team with Fred VanVleet, I like Fred VanVleet, but he wasn't the most efficient. Maybe Kevin Durant and him opening stuff would have opened up stuff for Fred. But overall, I'm just like, that's still a tall task to ask a person who's in their 19th season to come in and save the Houston Rockets and think, hey, we're going to get to the championship. And you're still, this is the same team that flirted with trading Sengun and Jalen Green for the past couple years. It was either one or the other that they were floating around trading both of them. So you guys weren't really confident. You guys were fielding offers for both of those guys. So it isn't like this is just foolproof they're going to work. And what you said to Kevin Durant's offensive output, still one of the most efficient players in basketball, no question. Like I just finished watching Starting Five. That's his biggest thing is being efficient, being able to do anything on the basketball court at a high level, efficient wise.
Yeah, he doesn't want to take 25, 30 shots a game. He wants to play within the flow of the offense.
Yeah, so he's always been like that. He's always been like that. And we saw in Phoenix where he was able to do that, but they didn't have the defense. They didn't have the structure there, and it failed miserably. We saw in Brooklyn how that went down, even though they had highs of that season and stuff like that. His run there, it really came to crap the bed when the team wasn't built around, supporting around him, strong around him. With Houston, he doesn't have to worry about the defensive end, right? Because they're one of the better defensive teams. They have a lot of defensive guys like Thompson, Eason, guys down the
Jabari.
line. Yeah, Jabari Smith Jr. that can guard their positions. They don't have to worry about that. So he's fine there. His offense, I think, is going to help them, but it's all dependent on those other two guys. I think those young guys around him are going to have to step up tremendously. Sengun, Thompson, Jabari Smith Jr. We'll see whatever happens with Reed Shepard. Holiday they added, Drew Holiday's brother they added. Like, there's a lot of stuff those guys are going to have to answer for. It's not just going to fall all on Kevin Durant. I don't think just adding him is just going to fix their offense, especially with Fred missing. Like, it's a different. You're asking. It would be easy if there was. This is my thing. It would be easy if there was another star on the team, right? In terms of a franchise guy, like, and then adding Kevin Durant. Then it's a different story. It's like, okay, Kevin, we just need you to play second fiddle. Now you're asking him to potentially be the first fiddle, handle playmaking duties, lead this team at this stage. There's a reason why this doesn't happen in the NBA. That's the thing. And I think a lot of the times, I think the media is putting too much pressure on him to do everything and save the Houston. I just don't see it. I think they're going to have a good season. I think they're going to advance in the playoffs, but I just don't know if they can get past Denver, OKC, especially those two teams.
Yeah, I mean, I think that a lot of this pressure stems from the fact that a lot of people still feel a way about him going to Golden State, winning those 2 championships there. A lot of people like try to discredit that run and everything. I think we're past that now, but some people still holding on to that and think that he has to show he can win a championship without Steph Curry, him being the main guy, like Chuck likes to say, be the bus driver per se. So I think people are still holding on to that and while trying to put pressure on him. But it's like, come on, man. Man's in the 19th season. Like, it's a lot to ask for at this point of his career. Not to mention that the history he had, like, he hasn't been the healthiest guy in the last several seasons ever since the torn Achilles. I mean, he's dealt with, like, hamstring injuries. I think last year he had the ankle injury, the lower extremity. Yeah. So, like, this is wear and tear. Like, they're putting a lot of expecting a lot for somebody. Now, I'm sure Houston's going to monitor his minutes and everything and try to save him or preserve him for the deep run that they eventually hope to make in the postseason. But I'm just like, I don't know, man. I think it's like not realistic what they are expecting from him, the media, and maybe even the organization.
And if he gets hurt, if he's out for like 10 games, 15 games, misses a 2-week stretch, what happens then? Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, then you're putting on the rest of the guys. You just traded Jalen Green. You just traded Dylan Brooks. Now you don't have Fred VanVleet available. It's like, who's going to step into that role? And everyone's kind of putting it on Thompson. And I'm like, yes, we've seen flashes from him. We've seen exciting plays from him. He's going to obviously improve as a player, but it's just like, it's just unknown. Like, this is the biggest unknown. It's like, especially if Kevin Durant goes down, who are you going to rely on to step up in that situation? So it's going to be interesting for sure.
Now, we're both in agreement, though, right, that the Houston Rockets made the right trade for Kevin Durant.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I'm not questioning that. It's just, especially with the injury, it's just like, damn, you wish that he wasn't hurt, Fred wasn't hurt, so we can actually see this team actually have a chance. And it's just like, I think you make that move, especially when you weren't sure you want to play Jalen Green and you weren't happy with his development as a player. So I think they pulled the rope a little too early on him, but I understand why they made the trade. They obviously needed some help offensively on that side of the ball. So,
and Ime's highly competitive. So is the owner, the senior players. They're like in win now mode. They don't want to like just wait, and they went for a guy who's proven to get buckets in the clutch and everything. So I don't knock them. I think that they still need to make another move. Move out there for them. Okay, now this makes sense to me. Now, like, you can, like, this pressure on Kevin Durant is understandable.
I mean, if things look rough and we get to February, they can easily make a move. That's the thing that really stands out. It's like this team can make another move to add to this team. So it's not foolproof. And I don't think they have to give up everybody in the trade like that. So it's going to be interesting because they do have younger pieces that have contracts, like a Jabari Smith Jr. If they needed to move on from him or whatever the case may be, they can make another move. So it's not all doom and gloom for Rockets, but as it stands right now, there's a lot more question marks than they had answers than over the summer.
Okay. Yeah. So what do you have for your next
I'm going to go to Dallas. Not too far from Houston, just up north from Houston, looking at Dallas. Cooper Flag situation with Nico Harrison and that whole situation, and looking at what are the expectations for the Dallas Mavericks, because Klay Thompson's a year older. Kyrie's out for most of the season. I want to say he's probably going to be back maybe March, April, May. They're hoping.
I think it's aiming for January, February. I think
January, February.
what I
Okay,
heard.
so what is this team going to look like when everything hits flirt? When Kyrie's back, Cooper Flagg's here, Anthony Davis, all the stuff in the offseason, people say that Anthony Davis is a little heavier. Klay Thompson's a year older. Cooper Flagg looks impressive. Now, for a team to look up and get the first pick like in the draft like that and get that type of guy that fits that type of mold, that's able to handle and able to shoot and able to score and create, it's just like, what is this Dallas team? Because I think everybody's kind of forgetting this team because obviously the injury to Kyrie and stuff like that. And it's like, this team is still pretty good even without Kyrie. Not to the point where I think they're going to make any noise, but once they get Kyrie back, can they move up into that contention category in the Western Conference?
Okay. Now we spoke a little about the Luka trade, right? When the went down and everything. And we thought it was ridiculous. I still think it's ridiculous now. Now I think that I just find it funny that this team that traded a generational talent, a backdoor trade, somehow ended up with the first overall pick in the following draft, but neither here nor there. I think that me and you share the same sentiments. Refresh my memory. My sentiment is that I don't see the hype with Dallas. I don't see it. The only thing I see is that, they could be amazing on the defensive side of the ball, all the length and that athletes they have. Gafford, Lively, AD, and then Cooper Flagg now, another big body out there. You still got PJ Washington. I mean, Clay's kind of washing the defensive side of the ball, but he's still intelligent enough to be at least decent on that end, I'm guessing. So people looking at that, and a lot of people think that, when Kyrie comes back, or if Kyrie's playing, they will be like Western Conference contenders, go to the championship. I'm like, that's my thing. I don't understand. We've seen Kyrie and AD be the best players on teams before. What the hell have they done? Nothing.
You put them together, man. You put them together, man.
I don't know, man. And then I think a lot of people aren't looking at the aspect of the playmaking aspect that Luka provided that isn't there anymore. Luka got so many guys easy open shots and everything, and set Lively up for the lobs and everything, and Gafford. So I just don't see it, man. I think Cooper Flag is going to be good. He's in a great situation, but I don't see the Mavs being as good as people think they're going to be. And people are talking about, when Kyrie comes back.
Their front court is good. Like, they have Davis. They have the depth there at the front court. They add Flag to help at the forward spot. It's where you get to the back court. Like, Klay Thompson's older. Kyrie Irving isn't back as yet. You got Max Christie from the Lakers that everyone's kind of high on. It's like, we haven't really seen anything from this guy. And then you got D'Angelo Russell, who's going to be playing point guard in that role. And it's like, when Kyrie gets back, what is this going to look like? Is this going to be Kyrie Irving getting busy, have the defense take over, and him and AD take over? Kind of like what we're seeing in New York with Jalen Brunson and Cat. And then you add in Cooper Flagg. So it's going to be very interesting to see what they do. And I think maybe they're going to put a lot of the playmaking on Cooper Flagg because he does have some handling ability. He has some vision. And it's like, is that going to be the best option right now? And especially with Nico Harrison saying this 2-3 year window to win, right? In terms of when he made the trade, it's like, how is this going to look when everything comes together? And I think that's the question, because it's like everything's shaky after that. Even with Kyrie Irving, it's like, I'm thinking, can they make a run, right? Because that defensive front line, Jason Kidd at the helm, Kyrie Irving having the ball. We've seen Kyrie Irving at least have the ball in his hands in Cleveland a little bit. We saw what it looked like in Boston. We saw what it looked like in Brooklyn when it came to Dallas, but Luka was the primary ball handler. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do, especially on the defensive end, because it's like, I don't think they're going to play D'Angelo and Kyrie together. I don't think that's going to work at all. But
that would be a disaster. Defensive, a lot of offensive killers would just salivate at the mouth.
Yeah, I'm
seeing those two guys.
They still have Dante Exum on the roster, who's at least okay defensively. Maybe that can help them a little bit, but I don't know. I'm just thinking, because I've seen Kyrie get busy in Boston and it looked good. And can he have that moment here? But it's like, he's coming off the injury. You got Cooper Flagg out there, and it's just like, we're gonna see where Dallas lands, man. I just wanted to ask us, like, can they make a late season push? Because I think it's gonna be a little rough to start off.
I mean, like you're saying, Kyrie's coming back off a major injury.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't see a world where it's just going to be like the Kyrie that we grown accustomed to seeing, at least for like a month or two.
Mm-hmm.
And he's going to be 34 in March.
Yeah.
So it's
It's
like,
tough. Hey, he's not 36. He's not 38. He's got a couple years left, man. He's got a couple
I
years
mean,
left.
I don't know. I just don't. I don't know. I just don't see the hype that everybody's just with the Mavs.
Mm-hmm.
Like, even before Cooper Flag got before they secured the number one spot, people just in love with Dallas. Oh, they're going to be a monster team. I'm like, they just traded away a generational talent, a top 5 player in the NBA.
I
just
still
don't
think they
understand how
lost
you
the
guys
trade.
think.
I understand
Oh, absolutely.
I know they got Cooper Flag in the stimulus package, but I just don't know his year. He's going to be a good player. I think he's going to be very good. What we see on NBA opening night and what we see going on the course of the season, obviously he can play. But in terms to say if it's going to be Luka Doncic status, I don't know. I don't know.
Exactly. Okay. All right. So let me pull up what I have for my next storyline I'm looking at. Well, this isn't really a storyline per se as it relates to the NBA, like the games itself, but more broadcast. The NBA is back on NBC, man.
Yes.
First time in 23 years. When I heard that news, I was like, yo, that is. I feel like the NBA belongs with NBC. Like, it's when that. I remember I was in high school when it happened. I was probably in my freshman year in high school. Because the last season that the NBA was on NBC was when the Lakers beat the Nets in the finals. That was 02.
Yeah.
So 23 years, right? Now we're back. The nostalgia, right?
Yep.
I want to like get the same feeling I got when I was younger, hearing Bob Costas do the narration before the games, followed by Round Ball Rock.
Yep.
You know, coming in, and then they got the dude the late Jim Fagan using his voice AI generator, obviously for promotion and for intros and everything. So
Yep.
I'm like, damn, like I want to see like, are they gonna like be able to like bring the nostalgia back while at the same time putting a modern twist on it. I watched the game a little bit this past couple of days ago with OKC and the Cavs. That was on Peacock. And it's worth noting too, the big reason why NBC lost the NBA rights is because the NBA knew that cable was the future at the time, and they knew that being on ESPN with Disney gave them a broader audience, which is why. And now, fast forward to now, what helped NBC? The streaming aspect with Peacock. So that's a big reason why they're back in the game with the NBA. But when I watched the game, I'm like, okay, this doesn't really feel like the 90s, man, like the whole broadcast, but it was cool. So I wanted to like give it more time. And then I see we got Carmelo, Grant Hill, Reggie Miller, and the T-Mac.
Yeah, T-Mac, Tracy McGrady, yep.
Okay, it's T-Mac, yeah. So
no.
Taylor Rooks, I believe, is on Amazon Prime.
Yeah, she's on Amazon. Who's on NBC?
I think it's Grant Hill, Reggie. I get the Grant Hill, Reggie, Melo, Jamal Crawford.
Jamal Crawford. They had a lady on there. Why am I
they got the Maria Taylor.
Maria Taylor. Yeah. There we go. That's what I'm thinking about. But it's going to be interesting. I'm surprised they haven't brought back. They brought back Michael Jordan in special capacity. I don't know what that's going to be. That's the intrigue that everyone's having, because it's like, what games is he going to show up to? Is he going to be there on the first night? Whatever the case may be. I would love for Michael Jordan to be a studio analyst once a week and come in and just be like, all right, this is what we're seeing. I would love to hear from Michael Jordan in that capacity, talking the game. Another person I thought they would have brought back was Ahmad Rashad.
Word.
Like, he's not gone. Like, he's still around. Like, I thought he would be back in some capacity, and maybe they're keeping that a secret. But I think it's going to be interesting, because it's like, I'm looking at it right now. The tip-off is on Peacock beginning on Tuesday. So you got NBC, Peacock, ESPN, and Prime all in one day. You got Prime, ESPN for the NBA Cup, NBC, and Peacock for the NBA Cup. Christmas Day is still ABC and ESPN. And it's like, I have all these apps. So it's like, I'm lucky that I have the apps. But it's just like, this is what I want to say. The fact that it's this accessible for the NBA, because that was the biggest thing for me with the NBA on TNT or having cable, is the blackout games. Or if you had League Pass, there would be blackout games.
Yeah.
Now that they're on these streaming apps, I'm looking at it as a positive because it's like, okay, I can catch a game at any point, and I'm pretty sure I can catch the replay. So those are the things that I'm looking forward to on these apps.
Are you sure the blackout isn't going to still be a problem? Because I think Amazon Prime got the rights to League Pass. I'm so mad YouTube TV don't got it no more. Multi-view, man. Four games at once. Now I can't do that. What the hell? I was heated.
I don't know. I don't know if they have the blackout. I don't. If Amazon Prime has the. If Amazon Prime does have the control of the blackout, that's a major thing because that was the biggest issue I had, and a lot of people in Denver, I think Phoenix. This is why I think Phoenix started their own local station so people in their own state can watch the games and stuff
I
like
watch
that.
for free.
Yeah, watch for free on their regular cable or regular TV, and it's like that's the thing that's been missing with basketball is the accessibility to it. A lot of people don't want to pay for cable still in this day and age. Everything's on a streaming app. They're like, I don't want to have to pay a cable bill to watch a game and stuff like that, especially if I'm only watching once or twice a week.
But now with all the streaming services you need, you kind of are you're
that's
getting back to
what
that,
we're doing.
to that cable life, man.
That's kind of what we're doing right now with all these streaming, especially with the ESPN app. Oh my god! But
I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it.
You didn't buy it.
I haven't watched any WWE PLE since they made the move. I'm not paying $30 a month.
I'm just gonna say the first two in the second one with Crown Jewel was good. WrestlePalooza was a letdown a little bit, but just with all these streaming apps, especially with it being on NBC, the accessibility, the nostalgia factor. I hope that it hits off. I hope that's a success. And I'm looking forward to it. I can at least say that. I'm looking forward to it. It's the start of the NBA season. It's on NBC. I'm looking forward to that moment.
Yeah, so I really am intrigued to see how it looks in contrast to like ESPN. Because I miss, especially the NBA finals, man. Like ESPN has the rights to the finals. So ABC has the rights to the finals, which is ESPN, Disney, whatever. So I'm like, damn, NBC is not going to have the final rights. I just feel like if they do it right, I'm going to be in love with NBC's broadcasts of the NBA above Amazon and ESPN. If they do it right, or they do it like the way I want them to do it. I think, damn, the finals should be on NBC.
I think that's what they're kind of trying to position themselves for, right? Because I think the advantage that NBC and Amazon Prime have is that they've seen how TNT did their broadcast. They've seen how ABC did their broadcast. What can we do different? What can we improve on? And I hope those two networks actually take advantage and try to do that and gives us a new dynamic look into the game and make it feel like an actual game. Because I've been saying a long time that some of the issues with the game is the broadcasters. A lot of them aren't good. That's from TNT to ABC. A lot of them just kind of didn't fit the void. And it's like, that's been the biggest thing. I think they got Iron Eagle. I can't remember which one he's on NBC or Amazon Prime.
Yeah, he's definitely involved. I forget if it's Amazon or NBC.
Yeah, he's on one of those. And I'm like, he's one of the best voices in the game. So if they can continue, I think they got the guy from Charlotte.
They got the guy for Charlotte? Who does NBC?
I think they have him. One of them got him.
Man.
And I'm like, okay, this is something that the game has been missing. Even towards, I say this all the time across the sports. If you have the voice telling, like JR and Jerry the King Lawler in the 90s for the Attitude Era, if you have people that are able to tell the story at a high level, that adds to the product. The announcers is just as big as the game. And I feel like if they can do that, the broadcasting networks are going to be in good hands. And I'm hoping NBC and Peacock, Amazon Prime all have, I'm trying to think of where he's at. But I think that's going to be good for the league going forward. Is he on there?
All right. So I have this right now of everybody who's involved in NBA NBC. So play-by-play is going to be Tirico, Noah Eagle, Terry Gannon, and Michael Brady.
It's his son. That's what it is. It's his son.
Analysis. Analysts. We got Reggie, Grant, Crawford, and others like Derek Fisher and Scalabrini. And studio hosts are Maria Taylor, Ahmed Fareed, Mello, VC, and T-Mac.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a solid roster right there.
Okay, so Iron Eagle is on Amazon Prime. So that's what it is. He's on Prime. So at least we got him. So that's why I'm like, all right, that's dope. Kevin Harlan's also on Amazon Prime. Stan Van Gundy, Brent Barry, Del Curry, Jim Jackson,
I
Dwayne
believe
Wade,
I believe Dirk and Blake Griffin
Art
too
Studio, yep. Art Studio, Taylor Rooks,
with Taylor
Blake,
Rooks.
Dwayne Wade, Steve Nash, Candace Parker, Udonis Haslam, John Wall, who I'm interested to see talk and stuff like that because he did good on NBA TV a couple times. Rudy Gay is going to be on there. And even though Kyle Lowry's still playing, he's going to be on there too, which is crazy to me.
That's kind of like homie when thing was on doing on NBA Today for a little bit, and then thing got picked up at one point.
Tristan Thompson.
Tristan Thompson. Yeah, I remember that. So
And then Draymond was on
that's
TNT
crazy.
for a little bit.
Hey, you know what I was thinking? Though? You know what I was thinking? I want to get your thoughts on this. Obviously, they moved on from Warner Brothers Discovery. No more NBA on TNT. I wonder if the league, if they really wanted to get away from NBA and TNT, just for the simple fact that, and I don't know, I'm not gonna say they do it all the time, but the perception is they like discredit today's players. They kind of like knock the game for what it is today. Like you don't see that on NFL broadcasts, right?
Yeah,
You see like times like Chuck, Shaq, primarily those two. I wouldn't say put Katie in with them, but those two particularly kind of come across that they're haters. They're like get off my lawn type guys, like always knocking the players of today and just clicking to the old school ways and everything. So I kind of feel like the league wanted to get away from them just for that alone, because you're kind of like hurting the product. Even like the All-Star game, especially Draymond was like trashing the All-Star format. I mean, he wasn't wrong, but it's kind of crazy to have a current player talk about a product like going on
and
for
he wasn't an
the first time
all-star.
that they're trying to, and they're experimenting like on the fly, and it's like, yo, this is trash. Get it out of here. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah. So I mean, they definitely didn't want that. And even though they got away from it, it's like those guys are a staple because they're entertaining outside the game. Like you can tell sometimes when Charles and they said it right on air. Chuck was like, I was watching the analyst or something like that. Like Chuck would say he was watching a completely different show than the NBA game at times. Shaq would just be like, Shaq would just say something not completely coherent to the game and stuff like that. And it's like, I understand the bashing because it does need to happen at some points. When guys play bad or when teams play crappy, yes. But every night, or if a guy makes a bad shot here or there, and I'm like, that's not good for the overall game. So I can understand if the NBA did want to get away from them, even though they just went to ESPN and kind of diluted it a little bit more to make it like a little bit more balanced. Because those guys are still going to be, I think they get 20 games or 40 games or whatever. I can't remember how many games the TNT crew, the inside the NBA crew is going to have. I think it's 20 games or so, a little roughly over 20 games.
And
So
I think they get the finals.
they do get the finals.
Which is major.
They should get the finals. That's the one thing I'll say. They should get the finals. A lot of the times I wish those guys were on the finals than the regular NBA countdown show. That's one thing.
Yeah, because they can't do studio right at ESPN. So
yeah. So from everything I've heard, I've seen a couple interviews with Charles Barkley. He said, hey, they're just going to take everything from TNT and just make it the same. So I don't know how that's going to help with the people in their ears, the commercials, all that stuff that happens on ESPN that we've seen, especially if you bought the WWE app, ESPN for the WWE. Definitely going to get used to the commercials. So I understand the league doing it and maybe trying to give a new flavor, something different. Because it's like, okay, the NBA, inside the NBA TNT crew, they're going to be legendary forever. They're not going to lose their spot. But to get some type of positive vibes back into the league, and the league has to do a better job. I've been saying this. The marketing factor of the NBA has to be better for the game. It has to be.
Oh, I agree with that 100%.
So
marketing's trash.
Yeah. So when I'm sitting there like,
see, I can knock it. I don't work for the league. I'm having time for the league, so I can talk the way I want to talk. The marketing's trash.
Yeah, I've been saying that too, and people have just been like, "Oh no, the league's trash." I'm like, okay, there's some stuff that you might not like about the league, but the marketing, the accessibility to the league as a whole, I'm like, they've just been lazy. It's been like a Madden release every year. All right, the players are going to sell themselves, the game is going to sell itself, whatever the case may be. But it's like that isn't how it used to be. Like everything with advertising with the NBA has been downward. There's only been a couple of guys that have been interesting, like Anthony Edwards with his sneaker commercials have been awesome. Like his promotional campaign and stuff like that have been awesome. We don't get that as much as we used to back in the day. And I feel like that's been the letdown where the NBA, maybe even basketball, the media, the marketing behind it's kind of like, oh, the product is just going to sell itself. Like, let's just rank in the money. But I think at least with this, how should I say, this dividing up the broadcast among different streaming apps, I think it's going to give it a different voice, and you're going to hear different aspects from different peoples who recently played the game, former players who played the game from decades ago. So I think there's going to be a little bit more of a balance than everyone just bashing, even in the morning shows on ESPN and stuff like that. I hope there's a way to interject, even on Amazon Prime, if NBC comes out with a morning show or a talk show.
Well, yeah, NBC is they're launching a new sports channel, like
Perfect.
really, really soon, like right in time for the season, I believe.
Perfect.
So it's coming up in the next few weeks.
All right. So with the addition of that, that's going to give the league a different look and a different voice. That's what's needed. I think that's the more voices you have, the more people talking the game is what the NBA needs at this point. Not just the same guys. And this is no shot at inside the NBA. It's just where they get to the bashing. I could see where people were coming from, where it's like, okay, you guys are just bashing the game over and over and saying the same thing every night. You guys aren't really caring about the game unless it gets to the playoffs. So maybe it's to divvy it up a little bit, but we'll see how it goes. I'm just intrigued. I'm happy that basketball is coming back to NBC. Amazon Prime is going to be a different look, so I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, I'm actually like excited for this. Like this, like you said, more variety, more options for the people, like more voices, more like people that you can like gravitate towards and resonate with their takes and everything. So that's definitely good for the sport. I love it. What do you have next for your?
Oh, this is my fourth one.
What you're looking forward to?
Are we closing the door on the Milwaukee Bucks?
Yes. Shut.
They have no chance with one of the best players, with one of the top 4 players in the game, shooting around him, improved with Miles Turner over Brook Lopez. We're just going to close the door on them.
Cue Vince McMahon's theme music. No chance. No chance in hell. I'm intrigued by Milwaukee because I'm intrigued because it's just they have all that shooting around Giannis. They opened up the floor more. They have a little bit more of a higher step with Miles Turner at the big. I'm like, can they find a way to make it work? Is there a world where they can make it work and just hold on for one more season to give Giannis a little bit more hope and then maybe make a move? I don't know. But it's like, because that's what I'm saying. Are we closing the door on them or are they going to make a trade for Giannis? I don't want to close the door as yet because he's one of the, as we said, he's one of the 4 best players in the world. And if you have that guy on your team, you at least have a puncher's chance to do it. And I know we see last season with the Indiana Pacers kicking, you just don't believe in them at all. So this is a waste of a topic then. Okay. All right. No, I mean, I respect. I love Giannis. Love his game and everything. The mentality to the game, at least. Like I said, top 4 player in the NBA. I think that they will be a top 6 team in the East. They're going to avoid the play-in, and I'm saying that strictly because of the dominance that Giannis possesses night in, night out on both ends of the ball. But it's just like, do they really have a chance to make the finals, like and beat a Milwaukee? Beat a Cleveland or New York in a 7-game series? Teams will have way more depth and and just like more options there, and just more variety and different like ways to attack. Like, I just don't see it happening. And what moves can the Bucks make? They handicapped. I mean, they had to spread across like the remaining like Dane's remaining contract that is spread out for like 5 years, right? And then they traded for Miles Turner. So what other moves can they really make to improve this roster? I mean, they paid the price for what they did when they traded for Drew. I mean, it was worth it. They got a championship out of it, but they're paying the price right now for the moves that they made previously, which did lead to a championship. In the city of Milwaukee that nobody thought would ever happen. So you got that championship in your belt, and now you're kind of like it's handcuffed right now.
If I said it before, if I was Milwaukee, I would have traded him in the offseason and just been like, all right, thank you for your service, and just went to every team. Because because they said they talked to New York or whatever the case may be, and maybe that was just Giannis just feeling it like, hey, let me see what's happening here. And if I'm the Milwaukee Bucks, I'm not trading him to New York. No way in hell. I don't want anything from New York. Nothing. If anything,
New York doesn't have a good package at all, and that's their problem for trading for 1st-round picks for Mikal Bridges.
Yeah. So it's like
insane.
If I'm them, I'm looking at Houston. I'm looking at San Antonio. I'm looking at who did I have? Atlanta.
They would never do it, but OKC would be another viable team, but it's not going to happen.
Yeah, I would just go to those teams and be like, here's Giannis. What can you offer me? And just take it. OKC has the trump card. If anything goes wrong or injury happens and they don't like how the season's going, they have the trump card. But if I'm Milwaukee, I'm like, yo, this dude's MVP. He's a champion. He's an All-NBA player. He's a Defensive Player of the Year. He's at the end of his career, but still playing at a high level. Well, not the end, but towards kind of gearing towards the end.
I think it's 30, 31, right?
Yeah, so he's probably on the back end of his prime. Probably has like 4 or 5 years. Give me your best offer, and I would have traded him. But now they're stuck with him, and they're trying to do all these things, and it's like, I don't know. I don't see how this is going to end well. But I'm also like, can they have a good season? Can they put something together to make it competitive in the East? And everybody's talking about how weak the East is. I think there's at least 4 or 5 teams in the East, at least. So
now you're asking, can they have a good season? What's your definition of a good season? Now, consider we have Giannis here who has high standards, who wants to win at the highest level. So what's a good season for Milwaukee Bucks?
Can they get 47 wins?
I think they can. I think they get 47 wins. With Giannis, I think they can do it.
Like, at least with Giannis, you can get at least 47 wins. Can they do that? Can they stay? Now, everything has to go right. A lot of the Gary Trent Jr. has to shoot the lights out. Miles Turner has to play fantastic and fit seamless with Giannis. Kevin Porter Jr., who they're relying heavily on to be the point guard, it looks like. I don't know. If you can
get something for Kuzma, it's gonna be a plus.
Yeah,
if you can get something for Kuzma.
We'll see what Kuzma can do. I know people have been out on him. Even apparently the city, there was a tweet or something like that about him, but it's just like, I don't want to close the door on them, even though it's looking grim. I think they might have a shot in the dark. That's my headline. Do they have a shot in the dark to do anything this season? So I think 47 wins. I think that will be an okay record. 47-35. So I think that would be a good season for them, where they'd be like, okay, this is enough here, but I don't know. The clock's ticking on them. If it wasn't already ticking already, it's ticking. So that's all.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to trade Giannis.
They have.
I said rather. I meant to say you don't want to lose him for nothing, and you don't control your own draft pick for like the next 5 to like 2030. I think.
Yeah.
Like they don't have their own draft pick until 2030. So you got to get like some talent. I would make sure it's the right move.
I would have traded him. I would have been like, yo, thank you for your service. As soon as Dame went down, that's when you should have known, like, all right, it's over. Like, there's nothing left on this. But they're going to run it back. They try to do these other things, and it's like, we're going to see what happens. But
sign one of his brothers. Sign another one of his brothers recently.
I'm like, I don't know how this is going to help him stay there and help the team and help him win, but okay.
Sign one of his brothers, and it's cut homeboy Livingston. I think Chris Livingston just got cut.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know. Family affair in Milwaukee. Family affair.
Yeah, man. If Giannis, do you see Giannis getting traded this offseason or, this season or in the offseason? And if so, what team do you think will he end up on?
He keeps saying New York, and I can understand that from a standpoint of New York shits the bed in the playoffs.
He loves New York.
Yeah. If they shit the bed in the playoffs, then it's like, okay, New York is obviously going to try to make a trade. Then I don't know if Milwaukee's going to accept that. I think they might have to put a third team in there, but I don't know why a third team would want to give picks to Milwaukee to get cast-offs from New York if it's not Giannis. I just don't understand that. So it's very tough and difficult, but it's like Houston's probably the prime spot. If everything doesn't work out there, they can accelerate their rebuild. Like if they just give up on their young guys, like, all right, Sengun, Jabari Smith, Thompson even, like, hey, we're going to get Giannis and run this back and get a point guard and figure this out. Maybe Houston's the best option. I would say Houston. I think Houston's in play for them because it's like, even though they have Kevin Durant, it's like we've both been saying, hey, he needs another guy with him to make that work.
Why do I have a feeling like he could end up? Why do I have a feeling that he would end up in San Antonio? I don't know why.
I've been saying for years now, if there was a team out there that he will go to, it's the Clippers.
The Clippers.
The Clippers. I've been saying that. I know they don't have.
Hey, man, a player of Giannis' caliber, they do not settle for the JV team. They go to the Lakers. Now, real talk, it's the truth. Like, it's LA, but nobody plays for the Clippers.
What's
I
his
mean,
contract? Hold on.
especially with this scandal going on right now, you think he wants any part of that?
Man, he'll own
Shoot.
the franchise. Hold on, I'm just looking
I
up his contract. He
I
has
believe.
3 more. He has 2 more years and a player option.
Yeah.
I was saying for years, I gotta look up now. Now my brain's going. I gotta look up the Clippers payroll. But I always said the Clippers were going to be in play, and I know he might not want to be in the Clippers talks. But
But
why
who
can't
can
I
you?
find
But
it?
who do they have to offer that Milwaukee will want to build around? Like, you know what I'm saying, to use as a
And they
and
don't have any picks. Yeah,
and
that's
and I
right.
know picks because OKC got their picks. So what are you gonna do?
I guess the expirings would work, but I don't know. They got a lot of expirings there, but I don't know. I was saying for years that he was going to go to the Clippers, and then all the stuff happens with Paul George and stuff like that. So I don't know now, but they got a lot of expirings. I don't think they have any salary after next year, so that would be the play. But I don't know. I don't know. But I'm going to say Houston. I'm going to say
All right.
Houston.
All right. So we think he's gonna end up in Texas if he gets traded, or
Yeah,
he gets traded at some point.
makes the most sense. Go down and work with Akeem. just a lot of good big
Literally
African
unstoppable.
community in Houston. Go down there and go. You can make it work. Make the transition.
And I know he loves big cities. That's a big city. It's not a
No
LA and New
state
York
income
or
tax.
Miami, but no state income tax, good weather all around. I mean,
You
mad
can
humid
fly to
in the
LA. You can
summertime. But
fly to Miami. Not far away.
yeah, that's very true. Very true. All right. So my next storyline I'm looking at is Cooper Cup a lock to win Rookie of the Year? Now I'm only posing this question because I feel like usually with when they voters pick for the Rookie of the Year, they tend to like lean towards guys who put up numbers.
Mhm.
They don't really value winning as much as they do numbers. And you would think that Cooper's not gonna have the best numbers per se, because of the team
Mhm.
he's on, because he went to a team that isn't depleted, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
First overall pick usually goes to a team that's a lack of like talent, which that's not Dallas, which is kind of crazy. Again, they got the first overall pick, but whatever. So you would think it would be like a guy like maybe VJ
Mhm.
or Ace.
Ace Bailey. Yep, yep.
I would say Ace. I would say Ace to an extent. VJ, right? Because that Sixers over there with Embiid and Paul George, that helps up
Yeah,
in the
yeah,
air and
yeah.
everything. He could probably get a lot of time to dominate and everything. But yeah. But at the same time, Cooper Flag, man, just watching him in preseason, like you talked about him earlier, he's like
Mhm.
a Swiss Army knife. Like there's a little bit of
Yeah.
everything. Can play defense, runs the floor, can handle the rock, boards up, is athletic. Like I think that this will be a season that even though he's playing on a team that is like a talented team, he's going to get major consideration. I think he will win Rookie of the Year. Now, if Kyrie was I think that he probably wouldn't have as much
Mhm.
opportunity to shine to get Rookie of the Year. But I think that the hype, along with what he brings on both ends of the court, what he can do, he's a dog on defense. He wants to win. He's in it. He's like he
Mhm.
like wears his emotions on his sleeve type player. The voters are gonna love that. I think he's gonna win Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, I think he's going to win the Rookie of the Year. I give VJ Edgecombe a good chance, but he's playing with Tyrese Maxey, he's playing with Jared McCain, he's playing with Paul George, so it's not as open for him as you would think. Ace Bailey probably has the best chance to challenge him from a scoring aspect. I think if he has big games, even in losses in Utah, because we saw the preseason game where he put on a show, and it was like, okay, this guy's smooth out there. He can get to the bucket. He can make his own shot. How efficient he's going to be over the course of the season, but if the only way that he can get past Cooper Flag is if he puts the ball in the bucket. But I think Cooper Flag is going to be enough. He's going to have the advantage of being able to show a little bit of everything in the toolbox. Like, as you said, play defense, play make, block shots. He block shots, contest shots. He's going to be able to play defense. So I think it's going to be a little bit more of a Swiss Army knife. I don't want to say he reminds me a little bit of a hybrid of like Andre Karolinko with his length and size on the defensive end. I think that's potentially there, and hopefully they can unlock that. That would be dope. But he has a lot of his offensive game as well too. So it's going to be he's a little bit more polished than everybody else. That's why he got picked number one, right? But
Yeah.
yeah, I think he's a lock to win. I don't see even. I think even if Kyrie comes back in certain aspects, I think he's going to put enough of a case where he puts himself in front of the others. I think he's pretty good.
Yeah, he's really good. I'm really like impressed. Like what, even though I'm over here talking trash about the Mavs earlier, when you brought them up and everything, I think Cooper Flag. Like, I don't know if he'll be a superstar in the NBA.
Mhm.
All star, definitely. He's going to be a vital, and I know he could be a vital part to a championship team. And
Mhm.
I feel like too why he's going to get garner a lot of votes for Rookie of the Year. He's like the modern. He's like the modern player that got somebody who's versatile, can handle the rock, can shoot, can play in the post, is athletic and everything. Like he does that. He's like a hybrid.
He's like a
He's like
modern. He's the modern wing you want.
yes, exactly.
Ability to step out and defend on the perimeter. Ability to protect the rim, even though he's not huge in stature, but he's able to protect the rim. Able to play defense. He's able to do a little bit of everything, but at a good to high level. Like he's able to do that. So I think that gives him the advantage over a Trey Johnson in Washington, a VJ Edgecombe, other guys
Fairs
that
in
were
New Orleans.
Jared, yeah, in New Orleans. So it's like I think that's the one thing he has the advantage over everybody else. He can at least one, you don't question his ability to be on the floor, like he's going to be a starter. Um, like you don't question what he can do on the floor already at a high level. So yeah, I'm going to give him the nod for Rookie of the Year, no question.
Yeah, man, I can't wait until my sports cards come in. I pre-ordered the rookie, the cards like because Topps got the license in August,
Yeah, yeah.
October 1st. So I pre-ordered the cards. Man, the hobby boxes were $100, but I was 5 minutes too late. I forgot about it. It was on sale, so I'm mad fast. So I had to buy like 5 retail boxes. So hopefully I get a crazy Cooper Flag card and Harper and all
Yeah,
them, and
and just get that laminated.
yeah, I feel like this
Seal.
class can be. I feel like this class can be up there with some of the best class that we had, like the 17,
There's a lot
18
of guys
class.
that come in. I feel like even not even last year's, but I'm just saying there's a lot of in the rookie class. There's a lot of guys that can come in and play. Like even Hansen for Portland. Like you see
Yep.
the Asian guy. You see his playmaking ability and his kind of Euro style big type of playmaking. It's like he can play in the NBA. So there's a bunch of guys out there that even outside the top 10 that can make an impact on the game. So definitely going to be an interesting rookie class.
Okay, yeah. So what you have for your last one?
Oh man, I don't want. Should I do this? Yeah, we're gonna go to Philly.
Oh
Can
my god.
Philadelphia be the sleeper in the Eastern Conference? I know it. Nobody wants to hear this. Nobody wants to talk about Joel Embiid and Paul George being injured all the time. No one wants to talk about, hey, what is this Philadelphia team going to be even without Joel Embiid? How Joel Embiid is going to be looking? He's lost weight. All the reports are coming out and all the stuff. Is he going to be ready? XYZ. Can Philadelphia, though, be a sleeper in the Eastern Conference? If
That's gonna
Joel
depend on
Embiid
health though.
plays 70 games, if Paul George plays 60
70
games,
games?
wait, 60 games. If Paul George plays 60 games, if we can get 60 games out of both of those guys, can Philadelphia make some noise in the Eastern Conference?
If
That
they can get 60 games out of them, they absolutely can make noise.
because they got Jared
That's
McCain off
a
the bench. I think they got Jared McCain. They got Andre Drummond to back up Embiid. They got I like Maxey. I like the development of
I
Maxey
love
and what he's
Maxi,
been
man.
able to do. Jared McCain was awesome before he got hurt last season, and now you add
He would have been
VJ.
rookie of the year.
Yeah. So it's like and now they add VJ Edgecombe, who's exciting, athletic, a wing that you can pair next to Maxey and see what they can do. And I'm just like, is there a world where this works and they pull up an upset and they give all these other teams trouble and Philadelphia actually rises from the ashes of all this, the Ben Simmons debacle, the James Harden debacle, the Embiid injury. It's like, is there any room in the Eastern Conference for those guys to make an impact? And I'm like, I don't want to close the door on them, just like I don't want to close the door on Miami. And it's just like I'm just looking at Philly and I'm like, is there something there with this team? Because we all we're looking at when we look at the Western Conference is the Lakers. We're going to see how Luka and LeBron's going to be out until at least I think November, they said. So
Mid-November.
yeah, mid-November. So a couple weeks out. The Lakers are going to be there. The Clippers are going to be there. We're going to see what they're going to do. We're basically always just looking at OKC and Denver in the Western Conference and what other teams flail behind them. I think that's the consensus. Like Denver is going to be one of the better teams. The East is so in a state of flux where it's like Atlanta can move would be up there, Orlando, Detroit, New York. And it's like the East, even though people are saying the East is weak, I'm like, there's at least 5 teams there that I can be like, okay, they're going to make the playoffs. I'm sure of that. every other team, it's like, can they flux up? Can a team make a jump? And it's like, can Philly be that jump of a team to make it into the playoffs and actually make some noise?
Yeah, I mean, if they talk about health, if they play 60+ games, I think they can absolutely make noise. Like we talked about it earlier. Like the East is wide open right now
Mm-hmm.
with the unfortunate injuries to Halliburton and Tatum. They can actually make the conference finals and possibly the NBA finals if they were
Mm-hmm.
healthy. But I just can't count on it. I just seen a report before we started recording that Paul George is going to be out for the start of the season. There's a good chance he's going to miss the start of the season. So like. Sorry,
Never
off on a
mind.
bad foot. And I'm pretty sure Embiid is not going to be ready for the season to start, from what I've seen. Now I saw the photos of him. Saw the photos of him. He looked real slim, like Luka has looked so slim, like Zion has looked slim. So that's a good sign there. But I just got to see it to believe it, man. And it's so sad. We're like, what, 2 or 3 years removed from Embiid being the MVP, top 5 player in the league. And now, like, he's just reduced to this right now. And it's unfortunate. It's not his fault. He's just injury prone.
Yeah, when you're that big,
I feel like I always said that he was carrying too much weight on those knees, man.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
he just slim down to like what he looks like right now. That's his ideal weight.
Yeah, and it's just like with the big man injuries, we saw with Yao Ming being that huge, Bill Walton, Jarunas Ilgauskas back in the late 90s, like he had those foot injuries and stuff like that.
Andrew Bynum had the bad knees. So.
Yeah, Andrew Bynum. So it's just like you see this history and it's like this doesn't end well ever for big men with leg injuries and stuff like that. And it's like he's at least slimmed down. Like, so there's at least that. And it's just like, I don't know how it's going to work. And even though he slimmed down, it's like his size was his advantage, right? Like his size and being able to do everything at that size was his advantage. Him slimming down a little bit, is that going to be an advantage for him or a disadvantage? Like, is he going to be able to still do all the same things, even coming off that knee injury? So, but yeah, after you said Paul George is going to miss some time, I'm just like, all right. If I'm just same thing with Milwaukee. If I'm Philadelphia, I would have just been like, Embiid, where do you want to go? Paul George, where do you want to go? I got Maxey, I got VJ Edgecombe, and I got McCain. And I'll roll the ball out with those guys and just rebuild. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, I feel like if this doesn't work, like, if they want to ever move on, and officially end the process, move on from Embiid, I don't know who would take him or whatnot. That contract was an abysmal contract, man. Mm-hmm. And then trade Paul George, you got a good solid young roster there that can help you like for years to come. And I'm sure that their contracts are all friendly. Maxey's friendly, of course. VJ and McCain, because they're on the rookies deals right now. They're on friendly contracts, so they can take that route if it doesn't work this season.
Just trade all those guys and be like, we're just keeping these 3 and we'll figure it out from there. Maybe that's the best thing that they can do moving forward.
Yes, let me try. I'm trying to look up right now from what I've seen. I'm just going to type Paul George's name in Google and see if that comes up. I think that they may not be ready. Not definitive. Yeah, here we go. CBS Sports. Paul George injury update. Sixers star not expected to play in season opener, but return. Reportedly not far off. CBS Sports.
And Paul George is one of my favorite players from when he was in Indiana and stuff like that. And when
my guy, man.
And it's just been injury after injury, false start after false start, and it's just like I can't. I don't know what to do with him as a player. Thanks. One of my favorite players, but it's just like same with Embiid. One of my favorite players to watch, but it's just like it's getting to a point where it's like I can't put any faith in them consistently. Hopefully they get healthy. Hopefully they get back to the court, but it's just like, yeah, it might be time. It might be time, man.
Yeah, man. Well, for my last storyline, I'm looking at injuries. Like, our injury is going to be a major headline this season like it was last season. I mean, we saw several players go down with the Achilles tear. Last was Halliburton in the finals. Game 7 at that.
Yeah.
What a bummer, man. Like, Game 7, you want to see both teams at full strength. That happened early on. Games tied at 16 apiece when he goes down. And it just kind of, like, killed the energy for the series. I mean, yeah, some people who say, OKC wouldn't have wanted Halliburton to play. Unfortunately, we don't know if that's the case. So it's just such that we have to even question that. Like, you want to see everybody healthy and play. I'm like, we got like guys who are young, like tearing Achilles. Tatum, what, 27, 28.
Yeah.
Holly's probably like a year or two younger, maybe. Now Dame was 35, so that's kind of understandable that he could tear an Achilles at his age. But these young guys, James Wiseman tore his Achilles last year.
Yeah. He was just fine. He was in was he in Washington or Detroit?
No, in Indiana. Indiana had 3 people who tore their Achilles. Isaiah Jackson tore it, James Wiseman, and then Tyrese Halliburton. That's crazy, yo.
Jesus.
DeJounte Murray tore it. Like, what are we doing? Like, I felt like an injury that was like reserved for like the old, quote unquote, old guys that happen to younger players now. And maybe it's the fact that the game's played at this pace with all this ground that players got to cover on defense, trying to run up to the 3-point line and then chase dudes up the 3-point line, all this cutting you're doing. Like, we weren't doing that 25, 30 years ago. So the league should adapt. The league honestly probably should reduce the season to like 65, 60 games, but they'll never do that because they're going to lose money. And if they lose money, the players lose money. Who wants to do that? Nobody. So we're stuck.
Let me get this Achilles injury out the way rather than lose a couple dollars. But I think from all the things I'm seeing, it's like I think teams are just going to play faster. I don't think they're going to try to slow down. The Boston Celtics I've seen in preseason, a lot of reports have been coming out about how they want to play faster. I don't know if the injury bug is going to go away, but I think the game is only going to get played faster, and I think that's something that the NBA is trying to do this year is just play faster. I see a lot of teams trying to get out in fast break opportunities and push the ball even more. So I don't think the injuries are going to go away. I just hope that there's a way to mitigate that. I don't know, like, because it seems like all the ones that have happened, the Achilles injuries, at least with Tatum, Halliburton, Dame, it all came from planting their foot and trying to explode forward. In Tatum's case, he was trying to reach the ball. Dame was trying to make a move. Halliburton was trying to make a move. And it's like, it's that explosion first step. And it's like, I don't know how you protect yourself from that as a player, especially players who just move off of instinct and reaction time. I don't know how you safeguard that. I don't know. I've always said it's the shoes and the low top shoes. I've always said that, but it's like players wrap their ankles. They stretch. They do all the, like, NBA players are probably the best athletes in terms of, well, outside of soccer players, but in terms of like stretching, conditioning, getting ready, because it's like you're always running, you're always moving, and it's like at some point at a high pace, your body's not gonna, you're moving in a way that your body naturally doesn't move. Like, none of this stuff is natural. Consistently, if many of these players are making these steps forward, to the side, diagonal, all those
guys are stopping on a dime.
Yeah,
going full speed and stopping on a dime. Like
the person. I'm surprised Russell Westbrook hasn't had more injuries, but the person I always think about is Derrick Rose. Like, all the stops and goes, it's like people are doing that now to their ankles. It seems like their lower extremity even further down than their knees, and it's like that's just putting more pressure. All that stop going, like, I don't know how you safeguard. I don't know how you protect yourself from that as an athlete. I don't know how you do that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. Like, I mean, I pray to the NBA gods that we have a relatively healthy NBA season. It just sucks seeing players go down with like not like minor injuries, like potential career altering injuries. I really want to see, like, Tatum. There's reports that Tatum's trying to come back this season. Since you're a Celtics fan, how do you feel about that? Do you want to see Tatum try to come back this season, or do you want him to like sit up the full season? You know, let this be a gap year for the Celtics. Come back when it's like 115, 120%, and come back next season.
I've been saying to people, I'm like, when I saw the reports that he had the surgery that night, and I'm like, we've never heard that of a player getting hurt that night and then going into surgery. We've never heard that. Ever.
And I think it's only because it was in New York and the doctors in New York. That's why I was able to get it that night.
Yeah, he was able to get the
swelling and everything.
Right. Like, he didn't have to go fly on a plane or nothing like that. So I'm like, this is unguarded territory where we've never heard this. He's already doing basketball activities, not 5-on-5, but he's been doing drills. He did a light dunk and came back down, and like everyone's worried. And I'm like, even if he takes a year off, there's no. Because I remember when it's a different injury, but Paul George snapped his leg and he came back and he was rusty that first season. But then after that, he had some of his best seasons coming back from that injury in Indiana and then going to OKC.
He was MVP candidate, top 3
Yeah,
MVP
top
vote in
three. So I'm
OKC.
like,
One, yeah.
if the doctors are telling him he's okay, if he feels like he's okay, then I don't think anything's being rushed in that regard, because I feel like the fact that he had the surgery that night, the fact that the rehab process, like I remember when Kobe tore his Achilles, I remember, I can't remember if it was a documentary. I can't remember the documentary. I think it was on Showtime. Like we saw Kobe Bryant, like trying to get back, like picking up the marbles with his feet and putting it into a bucket. Like we saw all that. In 4 months, Jason Tatum was playing basketball. Like I didn't see him on a crutch. I didn't see him like struggling, nothing. Like he's already almost back, like playing again. Like he's running, he's jab step. Like you shouldn't be able to do that. You know what I mean?
Now, I don't know if you know about that. There has over the years, there's like been an advancement procedure that helps you recover from a torn Achilles faster. Homie that played in the NFL. I don't know if it's still in the NFL right now, but Cam Akers, he was a running back on the Rams. He came back in 8 months. Now Aaron Rodgers had the same surgery. I'm like, oh, wait a minute. How's he back towards 8 months ago? Then I found out there's a new procedure that helps you recover faster from a torn Achilles. Aaron Rodgers had the same surgery. He was trying to come back to the Jets, but obviously they weren't good enough. It would have been a waste of time. They were out of contention. So I wonder if Tatum got that same surgery. I need to research that. Because I want to, because okay, that could make sense as to why we're seeing this progress from him in his rehab.
Yeah, that's what I'm like.
That makes sense to me.
I'm like, because again, when we saw Kobe, like the only person I saw that came back fast from like, or at least come back to their regular selves was Dominique Wilkins and Adrian Peterson and Adrian Peterson. Those guys came back and didn't miss a beat. Crazily, like
Kevin Durant.
Yeah, didn't what I'm trying to think of. Oh no, Kevin Durant had the calf strain, then he tore his Achilles. Okay, I got them mixed up. Yeah. Kevin Durant came back fast as well. So it's like, it's not out of the realm that Jason Tatum can come back this season. I know everyone's scared and saying like he shouldn't come back, right? Like Achilles injury is like, that's a no-no. Like, no, you don't play around with that injury. But it's like, if he's already coming back and doing these basketball drills, see where his body is and come back later in the season, me personally, I'm fine with that. Because it's like, if he gets hurt again, it was meant to happen. Like, you know what I mean? If the Achilles tears again or something pops or something like that, you can't control that regardless. And I don't think people are thinking like the advancement in surgery, the advancement in medicine, it's like, it's a different time and place now than we think of regular Achilles injuries. Like, it's completely different. Me personally, I wouldn't have a problem if he comes back later in the season. Like, I know some people are saying that he's targeting March. I was joking when he first came back and stuff like that. I'm like, he's going to be back by Christmas. The way this is looking, that was my first initial thought. But no, if he comes back later in the season, like March, April, May, and gears up for the playoffs, limited minutes or whatever the case may be, if he feels like he's ready to go, you can't stop him from doing that. That's going to be his decision ultimately.
I bet you can. You're the organization. You invested in him. He got the bag and everything. He's there long term. Now, it's kind of crazy to have him come back late in the season, and then you're going to tell him, all right, now we're going to put you in the playoff situation. Intensity is through the roof. Mm-hmm. It's like, it's going to be like crazy pace and everything. I don't know. If he can do it, he can do it. I would advise him not to if he would ever.
Yeah, that's going to be the safe, obvious thing. But I'm like, this is not supposed to be happening. Like, this stuff is not supposed to be happening like this. It's not. Yeah, it's Cam Akers. Yep. I was just looking it up.
Yeah, that's
and he's still playing. He's playing He's playing for the Vikings.
Okay,
Cam Akers.
That's crazy. All right, man. Well, that's all we have for you today, man. You want to plug anything before we get out of here? Or?
All right. Been working on the Soapbox Network. You can catch that on YouTube as well as TikTok and Instagram. You can check that out. That's where I post. I'm going to be podding soon again since the NBA season's coming back up. You can catch me on socials, the BSB Pod on Instagram, the Soapbox Network on TikTok and YouTube, and that's where I do all my content. Thanks.
All right, man. Well, I do appreciate you for taking your time out the day to help me out with this preview for the NBA. It's going to be a great season. Tip-off's on Tuesday. I'm sure we're going to link up again as the season progresses and everything at some point. But my guy, enjoy your evening, man. Appreciate you.
You too. Thank you.
No problem, man.